A vintage car owned by a Tamworth man is to feature on a new range of Australian stamps. The car, an Australian 6, is owned by Mr Simon Kelleher.
The Australian 6 is featured on the stamps with 4 other cars manufactured in Australia between 1898 and 1924. The Australia 6 was built in 1919 and it's the only roadster model still in existence. The stamp issue will be released by Australia Post on the 14th of this month. For Simon Kelleher, the release of his car on the stamp is of great personal significance. Mr Kelleher is the grandson of Frederick Hugh Gordon, the man who built the car back in 1919.
Well, it's recognition of the fact that Frederick Hugh Gordon has finally been considered to be the father of the Australian motor industry.
Well, as the man was your grandfather, it must be the source of some pride.
It certainly is. We've put many years of work into finding the cars, restoring them, compiling the history of them, and generally establishing the history of the car in the Australian history books.
Between 1919 and 1923, 1,000 Australian 6s were built. Mr Kelleher says the car represents a great deal of historical significance to Australia.
The Australian 6 represents the most successful attempt by Australians to this day to establish their own motor industry. It was manufactured in Ashfield, Sydney, by one Frederick Hugh Gordon, who built at that time the largest building of its kind in Australasia. And they went into full-scale production of the Australian 6 in about 1919.
Why did the company eventually fold?
Mostly because of the pressure brought to bear on them by price wars with the Americans and European and English car manufacturers who are cutting the price of the car by some £150, $300 in today's terms.
The state government